You know you've been talking for too long when Facebook kicks you off, right? So we just got kicked off, you guys. I'm going to give everyone a second to come back on. Sorry, I don't know what happened, but our video just stopped and wouldn't pick back up again. So we're back for round two. Only this time we'll split it into a second part of now we're going to pickle and stain.
Sweet, 12 people.
Wood. Yes. That's how many we had before, right? Perfect. So, it's going to take me about an hour to get this glove back on.
Wait,
so
what?
Just skip past this part. You know, once you take plastic gloves off, they're never going back on. Although I did see, where was I? At the doctor's office or something where they, you know, blow into it and it just
I don't know if it's
right
comfortable when you talk about the doctor's office and the glove.
This is what my hand
I get really,
looks like.
I get scared.
You clearly
have
after? Some traumatic events go on at the doctor's office.
Obviously, by the look of the glove.
Maybe we need to change our doctor. Oh, man.
Oh, my God.
Okay. Well, whatever. Okay, so let's talk about bleaching wood. So, bleaching wood is meant to take down some of the oils, the color that are in the wood naturally. So you have to take it down to the bare wood before this will work. So this has been stripped and sanded down to the bare wood. And then what you use to bleach your wood is this stuff. You'd never guess this is what you should use. It's called wood bleach. But basically what it is, it's oxalic acid. So this is the ingredient that you're looking for, is the oxalic acid.
Oh, Sheila's here, so we're good.
Hey, Sheila, how's it going? Was Sheila on before?
No.
Oh.
She was on the phone.
Well, welcome, Sheila. Thanks for showing up.
God forbid.
Thanks.
Yeah.
We appreciate it. Hope we're not troubling you tonight. So what you're looking for is that ingredient called oxalic acid. You can get this stuff at the woodworking stores like, help me out. Woodworking store.
Woodcrafters.
Woodcrafters, thank you. You can also get it on Amazon too, but it's a really inexpensive ingredient. It doesn't have a harsh odor. It comes in a powder form. It's like a crystal. Except when you mix it with water, it smells a little bit like sulfur. Very faint sulfur odor is what I smell from it. Make sure you wear gloves with this. It's got the word acid in the title. That probably means it's not super friendly to your skin and your eyes.
So is that veneer on that piece behind you? Is that the drawers? The face?
Okay, you guys want to learn about veneer? So the way you can tell that this is veneer, this is not a veneer.
Here, let's go. I'm going to zoom on in.
You can look at your piece.
Or not.
You can look at your piece. So all veneer is it's two different varieties of wood sandwiched together.
I know that Todd is not.
It's still solid wood. I don't think this has veneers on it.
I don't think so.
It's super old. Veneer is just two different varieties of wood sandwiched together. It'll usually have a higher grade of wood on top of it and then a lower grade of wood underneath. The way you can tell if it's got a veneer is you can look at it and you'll find the seam. This one isn't a good example. That piece behind you is a veneer.
That's right.
It'll have a seam where you can see where they join together. This one doesn't have one, so don't look here. But where they join together the two different pieces of wood. So if you turn your piece around and you look behind it, you're going to see that seam where those two different varieties of wood were sandwiched together. That's your veneer. So when you're sanding, you want to be careful. You don't go through. Usually they're only about the thickness of a fingernail. You want to be careful you don't go through that. Once you go through it, there's no going back again. You've sanded through your veneer. You're to the substrate underneath and you can't fix that. You can faux paint over it. You can, try to cover it, but it's damaged.
If you have veneer, you can still pickle over it, right?
Absolutely. Veneer is still real wood.
It's still wood.
Veneer is still real wood. Sometimes it might be mistaken with like a laminate. Laminate is where it's plastic over either a wood or an MDF. MDF is medium density fiberboard. It's little tiny fibers of wood. It's not a solid. They use glue to hold basically sawdust together and put a plastic laminate over the top of it. So that could be what you're thinking. That's your IKEA furniture. It can be even some that look like wood, but it's got a thin layer of plastic over it. And then you get into...
So Sheila's a big fan of veneer. She says, just throw it in the fire pile.
No, veneer is not. Most of the pieces that we work on now are veneers. Once they figured out, hey, I can put pine underneath and a nice oak on top and it'll look like it's solid oak, that's what they did. So it's really hard to find a piece that's all solid, one solid wood all the way through. But even a veneer is still solid wood. So most of the pieces we work on are veneers. So anyway, let's go back to my wood bleach. So it comes in this powdered form. So this container right here makes, I think let's see, 1 gallon to 3 ounces. Okay. So this will make a lot of wood bleach. I don't measure it out. I just give roughly, because I don't care if I'd rather overuse it than under, but it comes in a powder like this, and I just mix it into warm water. So this is a bowl of tepid water that I've got right here. It's cooled a little bit because I've had it out for a while, and I'm just going to put a little bit of my wood bleach in here, and then I'm going to dissolve it. So this is just one brand, but this chemical is readily available on Amazon, on, you know, like I said, at the wood crafting stores. I don't know if I've ever seen it at Home Depot. They might have it tucked away somewhere. So now I'm just stirring it into water to dissolve it. It reminds me of the process to dissolve Dixie Belle White Lightning, the cleaner, Dixie Belle's cleaner called White Lightning. It reminds me of that process. So once I feel like it's pretty well dissolved into the water, just looks like water. But I've dissolved that chemical in there. Now I'm going to paint this onto my wood. So I just take a brush. This is just one of my Dixie Belle chip brushes, and I will brush this onto my wood. Okay, this happens very, very, very slowly. So if you want to super bleach out your wood, or it's a really rich wood color, it might take you a few applications of this. And then I like to take a scrub brush and I just scrub it into my wood. And all this does is it opens up the grain of the wood a little bit to accept that bleach. It doesn't smell good, you guys. Work in an open area. I'm out in my garage right now. Okay, so I've opened up that wood grain a lot. But it may take you a few applications. And then this is going to essentially just...
Sheila's digging your pants.
What's not to dig?
Looks like you've been digging.
Yeah, these are my overalls, guys. These are like my painter's uniform. I got my painting boots on, my painter's overalls, my Dixie Belle shirt. I'm owning it tonight. Sadly, these pants came with this much holes. I didn't even make these.
You paid extra?
Yeah, people want this look.
Oh, gosh.
Okay, so let's go up here to the top. So once this is done and you've let this dry, you've reapplied as many times as you want, and you get the final look that you want, you're going to want to clean this with water. The water neutralizes it and stops that chemical reaction. So clean it well with water. I've already done that to the top of this piece, and now I'm going to pickle it. So let me show you the difference, what it does. Compare the orangey tones that would be in a piece of oak to what I've got right now. Can you guys see? This is wet too, but can you guys see the difference? It really just takes all those orangey tones out of the wood. So this is a great idea. I wanted to bring this up because a lot of times if you're going to stain like mahogany is a really red wood, and if you put gray stain over it, it makes it turn kind of pink. Bleach your wood beforehand and it'll take those red tones out, and then it makes your stain color more pure over the top. Same with like a white. If you put white over a mahogany, it's going to turn it kind of pink because your wood is pink. Bleach the wood first and you'll get a really true stain color. So I want to put white over this. So I'm going to use my Pickling white in the same no pain gel stain that we used. And I want a really, really, really thin layer because I don't want to turn this white. I just want to I want to still see the grain. I just want a really thin layer. So I'm going to start wiping on my no pain gel stain. And I can get an idea if this is as thick as I want, but if I want it even thinner than this, let me get a little bit on and then I'll show you guys how I can thin it out even a little bit more than this. I'm wiping it into the grain. I want it in that grain. That's where I want this stain to stay more than anything. I want to whiten the grain on this. I'm using the backside to wipe it back, so it just stays down in that grain.
Well, I've been instructed to breathe, so.
Oh, are you not breathing?
But I'm just gonna hold my breath. No, it's because I was coughing, but it wasn't because of that. And apparently Sheila says I need to get you some new pants for Christmas.
Why? I like these. He could get me new pants, I wouldn't wear them. So I'm digging this down into the grain.
What's the pad you have in your hand?
This is one of the new Addictive application pads. So they look like this. They come in a pack of 2. These are washable if you use them with a water-based product. I'm using it with an oil-based stain, so I won't wash it. I will discard this after one use. But if you're using the water-based products, they're totally washable. So I'm going to get a good layer on here, and then I'm going to show you guys how I can lighten this up. And this kind of goes back to the question that we were asked before my video cut out a few minutes ago. What was the question I was asked? Oh, if you are getting good even coverage, what can you do? So I'm going to show you guys a trick in just a second, once I get all this on here. So I'm using circles because I want to massage it into this wood grain. The grain is what I really want.
It's a Karate Kid flashback.
Yeah. Wax on, wax off. That's where I spilled a little bit of the water, but that'll just dry. Because then I'll come back and wipe it in a straight line. Okay, has Atlanta sold out since I've been on video? Just curious. I have a feeling it might have. Get a little bit more up here. So up here is kind of a different color. Now I kind of have an idea why, because I used mineral spirits on this earlier. So it's absorbing the stain a little bit differently, but I can just see, I just layer a little bit onto that spot and it kind of evens it out. But I used mineral spirits on this earlier because I want a super thin coverage. So mineral spirits, when you're using an oil-based product, will thin it back out again. So if I just want a thin washed look, do you see how it re-liquefies that stain? Can you guys see that? It reactivates the stain. So now I can come back and wipe this back even thinner than it already was. That was a really thin application, but I want it even thinner than that. So I'll wipe the mineral spirits all over my surface, and then this is a little saturated. Then I can come back and wipe it back even more and just get that really thin, like pickled look on top of the raw wood. See how it just picked it up in the wood grain? Like this area right here is really pretty. That's what I want it to do. So the mineral spirits will thin it back out so you can control that application where you want it, I'm going to thin out the back side of this too. And then on the sides, I'm going to let this white get into the crevices and stuff. So it just looks like a really thin wash of the white over the natural wood. When I wipe wood stain back, I wipe it in nice, long, even strokes from one end all the way to the other. Because watch what happens if I wipe and I stop, it'll be thicker right there.
What's the difference between whitewashing and pickling?
Nothing. No, a pickling is a whitewashing. That's all pickling is. It's like, you'll see some white glazes are called, hang on, stay with me.
Don't say anything bad, the video will drop.
Liming. It's called a liming glaze. Guess what it is? White glaze. Pickling. White stain. It's liming, pickling. You know, I'm sure way back in the day when they used to really use lime for this stuff, that it was a different process. But now, it's all done the same way, just using a white product. So that's a really, really, really thin wash of white over my wood.
Can you grab the bleach?
Mm-hmm. So I'm going to let this dry and see how it looks. Now my wood was really uneven to begin with, and I like it uneven. This piece has character. It's really old. I want the white to settle into the cracks and crevices. But I don't want this perfect by any means. So I'm going to come here and do the same thing on this drawer here. I'm using my same sponge that already has the thinned out gel stain on it. I'll wipe this drawer front. And then I'm going to do the same thing, and I'm going to wipe it back with my paper towels. So I'm going to do a whole piece like this with the white stain, just for a really softened white look. So I love that. So you can kind of compare just the raw wood to what the pickling does to it, that white effect. I still need to sand this a little bit more along the rim. But that's kind of it. So we played with the new no paint gel stains. My hands are nice and sweaty now. Let me show you guys my sample board again. All right, so these are 5 of the 6 colors of our no paint gel stain. I'm missing the walnut. I don't have it. But this is the black. This is our voodoo gel stain in black, the thinner coverage. This is Georgian cherry. This is the gray, espresso, pickling white, and then we made a custom mix down here because you can mix these stains, and that's the gray and the black together for kind of a charcoal color. So really, really pretty, cool product. And then I stain the top of this in the espresso, and then I stain the face of that in the white. So lots of things you can do with the new no paint gel stains. Did I mention I'm going to Atlanta, you guys?
No, you didn't.
Oh, I didn't tell you guys? So, just announced tonight, I'm the next guest instructor along with Kristana. You get both of us in one place in Atlanta, Georgia at the Bells and Bow Tour coming up on January 18th. So if you were on the fence about it, I hope that will push you a little bit over. But go grab a ticket because that is really a once in a lifetime lineup there. Along with Pam Haskins, along with Heather Marzigliano, along with Drew Dodson. They're also having guests from Surf Prep, a guest from Apollo Spray Booths. Apollo Sprayers, sorry, not booths. Really, really, really great lineup that I'm proud to be a part of again. So anyway, you guys can pick up the no paint gel stains. These are available at retailers nationwide, the Dixie Belle retailers, or you can click on the link above in the post and order them online as well. And if you have any questions, feel free to message me. But I'm going to pop off and I will see you guys next Thursday. Thank you so much.